Hi, my name is Dr. Rueban and I'm a law prof in Canada. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to take notes for your essay. Now, note-taking comprises three core principles: how to organize, how to summarize, and how to analyze somebody else's point of view. That somebody else being the author of the book or books you might have to read for your course, or the author of the article or articles that may be relevant to the course and that will ultimately be the basis for your essay. Before I get into each of these principles and how you might apply them, the thing to keep in mind is that all essay writing at the university level is about commentary on text. You're always going to be writing about what somebody else thinks. You're always going to be writing about some debate where there are different participants, or some problem or line of inquiry where there are different points of view. Note-taking is a way to help you arrive at a reasonably accurate interpretation of what different people are saying about some issue. And in trying to arrive at that interpretation, you'll also develop your own critical perspective. Now to turn to these principles. The first one, to organize. When we read a book or an article, what we have to be able to do is to organize our notes to reflect the different aspects of what it is a person is arguing in the book or article. We have to identify the problem or question they're asking, their thesis, that is the major claim that they're making, and the major arguments that they're going to make in favor of that thesis, including the evidence they may use, and so on and so forth. So we want to be able to set out a skeleton or a skeletal picture of the core components of what an author thinks. That's the organizational component. To summarize, here what we're doing is we're going to try to use our own words to summarize or to explain in perhaps a shorter or slightly simpler way what someone else is arguing in a book or article. But be careful. Often when we summarize, we run the risk of distorting what the author means. And if we misrepresent their point of view in an essay, you get into trouble. So when we summarize, we have to be sure to read very carefully. And if we use our own words, we have to be very mindful of the way in which different words can carry a different meaning and suggest a different interpretation which may be incorrect. The third aspect of note-taking is to analyze. That is where we develop our own critical perspective or point of view about those materials that we're reading. That's going to be the focus of our essays. That's where we develop a view about whether the author is right or wrong, or about which aspects of an argument we agree with or disagree with. Are there contradictions? Are there hidden assumptions? Are there ambiguities? This is where we show our independent thinking about the material that we've read. The good news is if we organize correctly and summarize correctly, then the third step, to analyze, will be easy to do, because as we try to make sense of what the author is saying, we simultaneously develop our own point of view. Now, these are the core principles. How we might apply them could be very individual. Some people like to use mind maps. They like to visually represent the different elements of an author's perspective. The mind map is a great way to organize the structure of someone's arguments, to develop a skeletal picture of the core components of what it is they're arguing. As we set out this picture, then what we might do is add in the summary to summarize the main aspects of what it is they're saying, and to raise questions that could be the basis for analysis. My personal preference is journaling. In my journals, I sometimes use pictures. I take notes. That is, I summarize what it is an author is saying. I also like to noodle. So there are different ways in which I pull together the three elements of organization, summary, and analysis. Again, there are different ways to apply these principles, and it's going to be up to you how you might do that. I hope you'll find this video helpful.